So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, big news. Apparently, Canelo Alvarez has reached an agreement with Callum Smith. I'm shocked by the news. I'm shocked by the news. I wasn't expecting Canelo to fight Callum Smith. I thought Canelo was in negotiations to fight Caleb Plant. And I don't understand why, he's done a complete U-turn and is now fighting, according to sources, he's going to be fighting Callum Smith. Apparently, agreement has been reached. Now, we've gone from the start of the year from him fighting to Billy Joe Saunders to then obviously having his dispute with Golden Boy, and then obviously that's been resolved. He's out of his contract with DAZN and Golden Boy. To then be in negotiations with Caleb Plant, we heard last couple of days the deal's done. That's apparently now been scrapped, and he's now in negotiations with Smith for a fight. I don't understand. I'm really confused. Because we all know that the chances are, and apparently he's going to be working with Eddie Hearn and Callum's for DAZN. So apparently the fight's going to be on DAZN, and Eddie said something in his interview with IFL TV that don't be surprised if Canelo fights again on DAZN. He will fight again. And it looks like he is. Because to me, I think it's a case where Canelo, what he's doing is he's going to be taking fights on a fight-to-fight basis. I don't think he's going to go into a long-term contract with anybody unless they pay him ridiculous amounts of money like DAZN did. But I just think unless somebody pays him huge amounts of money, he's not going to sign to anybody for a long-term contract. I think he's just going to be doing it on a fight-to-fight basis because he could potentially make more money that way. Because if DAZN offer him just say they offered him 365 million for 10 fights, he could get more than 35 million for certain fights. He could get what? For Golovkin, he might get 50 million or 55 million for that. So I think it makes more sense for a guy like Canelo, who's probably the biggest star in the sport, to go on a fight-by-fight deal because I think he can make more money. And also, everybody's going to want Canelo on their platform. So ESPN would break their budget to have Canelo on their platform because they know that Canelo's going to do huge numbers. Same with Fox and Al Heyman. He's going to want Canelo, so he's going to pay him huge bucks. And Eddie Hearn exactly the same. Because they're going to they know, Canelo knows that these guys are going to pay him huge money to be on their platforms because he's a huge star. So it's not a bad move from Canelo to be a free agent. I think being a free agent for Canelo is probably the perfect move for Canelo at this point in his career because he doesn't need the broadcasters. The broadcasters need him in terms of the kind of numbers he generates and what he brings to the table. He brings a lot. And also everybody wants to fight him because they know they'll get the career highest payday by fighting Canelo. So he's kind of like Mayweather, where everybody wants to fight Canelo because they know it's a huge payday for themselves. In terms of the fight with him and Callum Smith, I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very good fight. I think Callum Smith is a good fighter. He's undefeated. Although I did think against Ryder, that was a fight that could have gone the other way. But it was a subpar performance by Callum Smith. And up until that point, Callum Smith was very highly rated by the British fans and the boxing fans. I think a lot of people rated Callum Smith. Don't get me wrong. His best win was against George Groves, who was past his best, and he had a shoulder injury. But nevertheless, it was still a great performance by Callum Smith, to the way he outboxed, in my opinion, and took out George Groves. It was fairly impressive. You have to say he put in an impressive performance. However, that was a George Groves that was at the end and never fought again. And he was also injured. So again, that's his best win. Apart from that, Callum Smith's resume is bleak. And John Ryder, who's a good fighter, a very good fighter. John Ryder's an underrated guy. He's a very good fighter, but he's a type of guy that Callum Smith should be beating, and he didn't. And if you didn't think that fight was, you thought Callum won it, you just about scraped it. But the majority of the British fans thought that Callum Smith lost that fight, and I think a lot of them. I think he's become very underrated as a result of that. I think the British fans have kind of turned on him. And whenever I see his videos on, IFL TV or Boxing Social or some of the top YouTube channels, he's always getting huge amount of dislikes, because I think a lot of people feel that he lost the fight against Ryder and he never gave him a rematch. And I don't think anybody's going to be giving him a chance against Canelo either. But I don't think that performance against Ryder shows his level. Listen, sometimes fighters have off nights, but I didn't think Callum Smith was as good as what the British public were initially making him out to be. But I don't think he's as bad as what they're making him out to be now. I think he's a world-class guy. I think he's a good fighter. But is he going to beat Canelo? Not in my opinion. I just think Canelo's too good, too skillful. And I can just see him breaking Callum Smith down by smashing him to the body and just breaking him. I think a lot of people are talking about Callum Smith's size, which could be a problem for Canelo. Which could be a problem for Canelo for sure. 6'3" and Canelo's 5'8". You know, Callum Smith's massive, but Callum Smith's not that big a puncher, right? I know he says he's a big puncher, but John Ryder absorbed all his shots. And really, he hasn't shown me that he's an elite puncher at world level where he's going to be really troubling Canelo. Canelo's got one of the best chins in the business. Does Callum Smith hit harder than Golovkin? I don't think so. And Canelo took everything from Golovkin flush on the chin. So I'm not sure Callum Smith has got the power to tittle Canelo. Canelo's got probably the greatest chin in boxing. You know, he's got granite chin. You know, you would say him, Golovkin, Danny Garcia. These type of guys have got granite chins where you hit them and they're just like hitting a brick wall. There's no response. They just keep coming. So I don't see Callum Smith hurting Canelo, but I do think Callum Smith, with his size, his reach, is going to be a problem for Canelo. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but I do expect Canelo Alvarez to break Callum Smith down and probably get the stoppage, if I'm honest with you. But again, it's a good fight. It's not a fight where people can say Canelo's cherry picking. I don't think anyway. I think Callum Smith's a good fighter. I know a lot of people are not happy. They think Canelo's cherry picking. But Callum Smith's a problem, man. Callum Smith would be a problem for Andrade, would be a problem for Charlo, would be a problem for anyone. I'm not saying he beats them. I'm just saying he's a problem. You know, he's a problem. I don't know if Callum Smith was to fight Billy Joe Saunders. I don't know who wins that. That's a good fighter. To be honest, you know, Callum Smith's size in that fight could be a problem for Billy Joe, because I don't think Billy Joe is as tough and as strong as Canelo. You know, I think if Billy Joe gets hit on the chin by Callum Smith, he could be. I just think Canelo Alvarez has shown an elite level chin where you can't stop this guy. And I'm not sure whether Billy Joe has got that same kind of chin. And I think Callum Smith's size and strength may be a problem for Billy Joe Saunders, especially going the distance, because I think, you know, that size and strength that Callum Smith will have over Billy Joe may be a problem. But with Canelo, we know Canelo's strong as an ox. You know, he knocked out a light heavyweight in his last fight against Kovalev. So, you know, I don't think he's going to have any problem fighting Smith. Yeah, Smith is taller, but tall doesn't necessarily mean punching power, mean you're stronger just because you're taller. It doesn't mean that. Obviously, there's guys like Kovalev who's a lot bigger puncher than Smith. Even though Canelo fought past prime Kovalev, it was still a great performance. He knocked out a light heavyweight. And I'm not sure about a few things with Callum Smith. I'm not sure about his chin, stamina when he gets into a tough fight. You know, there's a lot of things that are going to be tested for Callum Smith. I will say Callum Smith's a good fighter, and he's the type of guy that I think lives in the gym. I've never seen him out of shape, out of weight, looking bad condition. So I think he's going to be a tough fight, but I do expect Canelo to break him down and probably stop him. But nevertheless, it's a good fight, and it's a fight which people want to see Canelo fight. People want to see Canelo fight the young guys and the guys like Smith, Saunders, Andrade, Charlo. You know, this is the first of many that now that Canelo's a free agent and he's not with De La Hoya, I think he's going to start making his own decisions and start fighting these guys. Because as far as Eddie Hearn was saying that Canelo wants these fights with Smith, Saunders, Andrade, Charlo. He wants all these fights. And Eddie Hearn said something the other day on IFL. It made me think, you know, now that, actually at the time it didn't make me think, but now that I'm hearing the news that him and Smith have reached an agreement, makes me think that was their talks undergoing before the interview that Hearn gave. And I think that's why Hearn gave that interview, but he didn't want to come out and jinx anything. But now I think we know that he's reached an agreement, and it's great. I think it'll be great to see Canelo fight Callum Smith. I think it's a good fight. I think Where's that fight going to happen? Is he going to look to come to the UK? I doubt it. I think Canelo's going to stay in the States and fight on the States. The fact that the fight's on DAZN, I don't think it really matters because it's unlikely to be on pay-per-view in the States anyway. So I think that fight here would be massive. But I don't know whether Canelo's going to come to the UK. And Smith, even in the UK, isn't exactly a huge star or a huge draw. So I'm not sure whether they'd come here for Smith, if I'm honest with you. I think someone with a bigger name, possibly, but I don't think he's going to be fighting Smith here. I think he'll fight in America. I'm not sure Canelo will ever come here. But that's my take on it. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. Canelo Smith, who have you got? Do you think it's a good fight? Are you happy with the fight? You happy Canelo's fighting Smith, or you disappointed? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.